Hello everyone and welcome back to this course titled as Introduction to Indian Writing in English. Friends, in this course Indian Writing in English, we started our journey with a very famous poet named as Nassim Ezekiel. We took one poem of Nassim Ezekiel in the first unit titled as Night of the Scorpion. In this unit, Unit 2, we were discussing the next poem of Nassim Ezekiel, which is titled as Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. In this poem, Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S., we talked about the poetic craftsmanship of Nassim Ezekiel initially. After that, we talked about the various images and various symbols which are used in this poem titled as Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. Now friends, today we will talk about another theme related to this poem, Goodbye Party, which is named as Major Thematic Concerns. So, today's lecture is going to be very interesting and very thought-provoking for all of you. But before discussing the major thematic concerns highlighted by Nassim Ezekiel, let us try to understand the outcomes which you are going to learn from this lecture. In this lecture, all of us will try to compare the thematic contexts with the content prescribed. The content is this poem, the text of this poem, and the context in which these thematic concerns are highlighted by the poet. We are going to discuss about them step by step in this 30 minutes lecture. Well, friends, as there is a word coming in the outcome which is titled as concerns, thematic concerns. Why we call it as concern, my dear friends? When any writer, any poet writes something, there are few concerns of that person, and that person need to address those concerns. And to address those concerns, rather than simply giving any speech, rather than simply, let's say, talking to someone, or rather than simply writing something in prose, the writers like Nassim Ezekiel try to show those concerns with the help of their poetic craftsmanship or poetic skills. So, friends, let us begin the addressing of the concerns which Nassim Ezekiel want to highlight with the help of this poem titled as Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. The main theme in this poem isn't the loss of a friend, it is the human foibles or character faults. My dear friends, as all of you know, I told you in the last class that this poem is a dramatic monologue. There is a person who is giving a speech. Why he is giving a speech? Because one of his colleague named as Miss Pushpa, she is going abroad. She is going somewhere out, maybe her family is migrating and she is moving, relocating with her family to some new country. And her father belongs to Surat. We had already discussed that in the last class. And now this person is giving a speech, let's say as a departing speech to this lady, Miss Pushpa. But friends, this poem is not about, let's say, loss of any friend, loss of, let's say, colleague who is leaving, who is very friendly, who is very cooperative, who is very helpful to everyone present in the office. This is not about the loss of that friend, but it is about the human foibles, some issues related to human behavior, some issues related to the fault in a person's character. Well, friends, you will think that am I talking about some specific character faults which are present in the personality of the speaker? Of course not. As I told you earlier also that this person, Nassim Ezekiel, has a universal approach into his writing. When one person is speaking in the poem, he is not only talking about himself, his ideas, but he is talking about the ideas of the entire humanity. The problems which are present in the human behavior in general. And thus, I can say that these character faults are not only related to the speaker, but also to everyone present in that party or everyone present in such kind of circumstances. According to Dominic, one of the critiques, this is a popular theme among Ezekiel's works. Popular theme, why? Because this person, Ezekiel, want to deep delve into the personality of the humans. The human behavior is well portrayed into the various lines, various images, various symbols, various satirical, let's say, phrases which are used by this poet in his various works. The poem offers a satirical look at how some people in India speak English, a device that the poet presumably used to get an Indian reader to laugh at himself. Well, my dear friends, the goal of satire is not to offend anyone. You know that. The goal of satire is not to demean anyone. The goal of satire is not to mock at any particular person, at any individual. But satire is a thought-provoking literary device. And with the same intent, this poet, Nassim Ezekiel, has used satire in this poem, Goodbye Party. Poet want to highlight how some people speak English in India, and which is why he want to not only laugh at one person, but he want to laugh at all Indians who speak English in this manner only. Well, friends, we do not want to, let's say, mock the Babu Angrezi which is used in India, but he wants that people should understand and people should improve their way of speaking. On the other hand, he may also want to say that this kind of genre, this kind of dialect which is used by Indian speakers is perfectly fine and there is no change required into it, and Indians must feel proud on this kind of, let's say, communication skills. The poem misuses the present continuous tense and uses turns of phrases and syntax found in the Indian language, like when Ezekiel writes, whenever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes. Well, my dear friends, when you read these phrases first, you may find that Nassim Ezekiel is not a very grammatically strong person. He do not have a hold on grammatical, let's say, skills related to English language. But friends, this is very surprising to believe that he was a professor of English and he has a well hold on syntax and semantics related to English language. But he intentionally used the present continuous tense because he knows that this is suggesting the spirit of Indian speaking of English, Indian writing of English. The people who are semi-literate, the people who do not have much proficiency on English language, they are habituate of using present continuous tense into their writings and into their speeches, which is why the poet is misusing present continuous tense and he is using, let's say, various turns into phrases and syntax found into Indian language. Turns, what am I mean to say turns? Well, friends, there are few, let's say, phrases, there are few idioms which are present in the Indian society. But if we directly translate them into English language, maybe the native speaker of English language will not understand what I am trying to say. But even then, people generally translate them into English language. That translation is disastrous. That translation is sometimes, let's say, very shocking. The native speaker will have no idea what Indian is trying to say by simply translating any particular phrase or any particular idiom. Now, when this person, Nassim Ezekiel, he uses such kind of sentences like whatever I or anybody is asking, maybe he want to say that nobody has asked or nobody wanted to ask, but he is using it in the continuous tense, asking, or she is always saying yes. Yes, in what sense? So, the sentence is grammatically incorrect. The sentence may differ into its structure. She is always saying yes. Yes about what? It is not clear from the sentence. Basically, the speaker want to say that she is saying yes about helping someone. She is always, let's say, helpful to all the other colleagues in the office. The poem also hints at dramatic irony. Well, friends, this is again a very beautiful literary device, dramatic irony. There is an ironical tone in the poem which is expressed in a very dramatic manner by the poet Nassim Ezekiel. So, if the reader infers that the speaker's audience at the farewell party doesn't know that his English is grammatically incorrect, what kind of dramatic irony is there, friends? The dramatic irony is that the speaker thinks that he is perfectly speaking English language. He doesn't know that there are lot of errors into his sentence construction. There are lot of errors into his choice of words. There are lot of errors into his discussion or conveying a message. But he is feeling proud that he is speaking English language. So, this is a kind of dramatic irony. Had there been a person in the party who is well proficient into English language, that person might have felt that there are lot of errors into the, let's say, speech of this speaker, but the speaker is unaware about those things. The poem is often described as a parody of or satire on Indian English. My dear friends, sometimes people think that this poem is a satire on any individual, that is speaker, but this is not correct. This poem is a parody used with the help of satire on the Indian English. Indian English means Indian way of speaking English. So, in this way, this poem has a very, let's say, vast impact on the Indian way of speaking, Indian writing in English. And in this way, I must say that this poem has a very, let's say, unending message to convey. There are meanings after meanings which can be conveyed the more and more we read this poem. It illustrates the ideolectical features of the brand of English used by Gujarati speakers as a humorous reconstruction of a particular variety of Indian English. Well, friends, I must say that Nassim Ezekiel had made an attempt to talk not only specific about Indian English, but about Gujarati English, because India is a, let's say, country which has lot of cultures, lot of languages, lot of lifestyles, and there is unity in diversity, which is a very common phrase used for India subcontinent. Friends, here when Gujaratis are speaking English, they have a different way of speaking it. When Rajasthanis are speaking English, they have a different way of speaking English. when the people from, let's say, any other state, let's say Andhra Pradesh, when they are speaking English, they have a very different accent or very different way of speaking English. Not only the accent is different, but they have their own list of idioms and phrases related to their regional language, related to their regional dialects. And all of them are habituate of translating those idioms, those phrases directly into English language. And thus, friends, when we study this poem, when we read this poem, we get to know a glimpse of Gujarati way of speaking English with the mouth of this speaker. So, there is an idiolectical feature. Now, this idiolectical feature is something which is a term related to the, let's say, regional dialects or the regional characteristics which are visible in the Gujarati speaker. This person, we can assume, that is from Gujarat, and he has the way of speaking just like Gujarati English is spoken. It is actually a satiric self-evaluation of the speaker. In one way, friends, I can also say that the way a speaker is speaking, it can be called as a self-evaluation. Self-evaluation means the person is trying to speak English, and in this process he is trying to evaluate himself. Self-revelation and self-evaluation, these are two words, and both fits into the category of this speaker. He is revealing himself, he is revealing his personality, he is revealing his thought process, he is revealing his way of perception or perceiving English language. As Bruce King has put it, now friends, Bruce King is one of the critics. This is the quotation which is used by Bruce King. So he says, language reveals the speaker's mind and social context. Well, this is a very appropriate sentence, friends. Whenever we hear the language of a person, that language reveals the mindset of that person, how the person thinks, and the social context of that person, from which, let's say, social background that person is from. The, let's say, upbringing of that person is revealed from the language of that person. There are various cliches, triteness, unintended puns which are used by this person. Cliches means the repetition of something which people already know. So such kind of cliches, such kind of common phrases, such kind of common words are used by the speakers who have different ethnicities, who have different upbringings, who have different contexts related to their learning. There are triteness, there are unintended puns. Puns means where the person do not want to, let's say, make a joke, but the joke is already produced with the way the person is speaking. The sentences, the phrases which that person use, they unintentionally create a humorous situation after his speech. So such kind of unintended puns are among the devices used to imply hypocrisy, pretense, limited opportunities, and confusion. Friends, this kind of, let's say, example which this speaker is giving, it has various, let's say, perceptions. We can interpret various things from this speech. The one thing is hypocrisy. Now, how hypocrisy, friends? This person addresses the males in the party differently and females in the party differently, suggesting that this person is, let's say, a mindset of male dominance. This person thinks that males are different from females. So he do not have this concept that all are colleagues, all are equal to each other, but he thinks that females have a set stereotypical character and males have a set stereotypical character. So, the hypocrisy is also visible with the help of his speech. Next is pretense or limited opportunities and confusion. Now, friends, we can understand from the speech of this person that he belonged to some remote area of India, and maybe he is semi-literate, maybe he is not at a very good position in the society, maybe his, let's say, a job profile is not very strong, he is not very educated, but even then we can understand that just because of the limited opportunities which this person has received into his life, it is just because of those opportunities that he is speaking in this manner. On the other hand, the person is also confused. He do not know how to give the, let's say, a very well refined or a very structured speech. Maybe he has not prepared anything. This is just an extempore speech. He was called to speak on the personality of Miss Pushpa and he randomly went there and started speaking. So, he is also confused in the core of his heart that what he must say about Miss Pushpa. Maybe he do not know much about her personality. Note the Indianness inherent in the very title of the poem. See, the very title of the poem, Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. There is an Indianness in the poem. You see, you show this title to any person who do not belong to India, maybe an Italian or a German or an American. As soon as the person will read the title, he will tell you that, my dear friend, the speaker or maybe the poet, the, let's say, composer of this poem must be an Indian. So, I must say that there is an Indianness which is inherent in the title of this poem. The occurrence of the initials at the end of the name, Miss Pushpa T.S., I am talking about T.S. coming after Pushpa. The very Indian habit both in speech and writing. This is how, friends, the people are spoken in India. If we are talking about any lady, then we are habituate of adding Miss in front of her name. That person was working with Miss Pushpa maybe from last couple of years. He could have announced her name as Pushpa also. The first name could be sufficient if we are working in the American society. But this person is more formal in his speech. Like we see in India, the ladies are addressed by adding the salutation Miss in front of their name and Mr. for the males. So, this person is little formal. This kind of formality, I can say, is the Indian formality. And this person has used Miss Pushpa, suggesting that he has that Indian spirit into his mind. Even goodbye party seems to be an Indian limitation of birthday party. Well, friends, there are different kind of parties and there are different themes for those parties. There are different ways of behaving in those parties. We cannot behave, let's say, in one party which is a birthday party in the same manner we are behaving in the departing party of some person, or in any other kind of party, maybe the promotion party. We have to behave in a different way in the promotion party and in a different way in the birthday party. Both are different. And even goodbye party seems to be an Indian limitation of birthday party. But in India, friends, what we generally see, people are habituate of behaving in the same manner, just like they behave in the birthday party, in the same manner they behave in the other parties also, all kind of parties. So, from the speech of this person, the speaker, we can understand that he has a very limited exposure to the different party behaviors. He has a very limited exposure to how the parties are organized and structured, and just because of this, he is behaving in the manner, in the departing party of Miss Pushpa, like he is in some birthday party. Words and phrases which create various symbols and images common in the Indian mindset are. Friends, in the coming points, we are going to understand the various phrases which are suggesting that Indianness of English which is visible in the speech of this speaker. There are words, there are phrases which create various symbols and images which are common to the Indian mindset. Let us look at them one by one. Take for example the first phrase, that is dear sister. Now friends, if you go to any European country or American country and you are, let's say, addressing your colleague, your female colleague as sister, she might feel offended. She will ask you that, am I your sister? Am I your blood relative? Are we related to each other, let's say, in some blood relation? How can you call me a sister? But this is a common way of addressing females into India. We generally call females as sister. Can you hear me? And the females are addressing the males as brother. So, dear sister, this phrase is suggesting that Indian way of thinking, that Indian mindset. Then the next phrase is departing for. Now friends, the word depart, as I told you earlier also, is either used for some departure of plane, some flight is departing, or it is generally used for a departed soul. May the soul rest in peace. If the person is departed, if the person passed away, if the person died, then in the consoling speech of that person, we generally say that the person is departed. So, this person, this speaker, he must have used the word relocating. He must have said that Miss Pushpa is relocating from India to some other place. But he is using the word departing, which is not appropriate in this situation on this occasion. Then he uses the phrase 2-3 days. Now he must have used 2 or 3 days. He is trying to say that Miss Pushpa will be leaving within 2-3 days, 2 or 3 days, but he is using 2-3 days. So what does it suggest? That he is trying to omit the various, let's say, necessary informations. He is trying to omit various necessary initials or, let's say, articles, definite articles or indefinite articles from his speech, which is not the way the formal English should be spoken. Then we are meeting today. Now this phrase is again very ambiguous. When this speaker says we are meeting today, is he trying to say that he is meeting Miss Pushpa for the first time? Is he trying to say that he is meeting Miss Pushpa after 1 month or 6 months? He meets her every day. We can understand that if Miss Pushpa is working in this office, then all of these people are meeting every day. Let's say they are working for 8 hours every day in that office or 6 hours. So, we are meeting today is a very inappropriate phrase which is used by this speaker into his speech. Then let us read this sentence. Pushpa is not only a woman of pleasant exterior but also of many sweet qualities of head and heart. Now friends, this is again a very difficult kind of, let's say, sentence to understand. Is he trying to say that Miss Pushpa is different from exterior and different from interior? Exterior or interior, he is trying to say about, he is trying to talk about the inner behavior of a person and the outer appearance or the outer behavior of a person. If a person is hypocrite, then outwardly he may be very, let's say, kind to everyone, but from the core of his heart he is always negative. He is always trying to hurt any person. So in this sentence he is trying to say that Miss Pushpa is sweet, kind-hearted, helpful and sympathetic, not only in the core of her heart, but from her outer appearance and from her outer behavior as well. But you do not get appropriate words to speak such kind of sentence. Let us move to the next sentence. Pushpa always puts on a smiling face, which shows that she is emotional by nature. Well, friends, this is also a very, let's say, stereotypical kind of sentence. He says, the speaker says that Miss Pushpa is always smiling, so she is emotional. Well, is it right? You may find few people in the society who are not emotional, but they have a fake smile always on their face. But this is not the case with Miss Pushpa. He is trying to say that she is always smiling, she is always helpful, she is always cooperative to everyone, and without any tension on her face, without any stress on her face, she is kept on working and taking tasks one after the other in the office. And from past couple of years, we are assuming that she is working there from past couple of years, maybe it is couple of months also. So if she is working there from so many let's say time, we can understand that she has a kind of stress management skill which she has learnt, and which is why she is always smiling in all kind of troubles and problems. Then the next phrase which this person use is very high family. Now, very high family suggesting that she is belonging to a very prominent family. She is belonging to a very, let's say, esteemed family. But very high family is not the appropriate phrase for her upbringing. So this is also just suggesting the Indianness, the Indian way of speaking English by this speaker. Then we have another phrase, renowned advocate. This phrase is used for the father of Miss Pushpa. Now, renowned advocate, the person must have used that her father was a renowned advocate, but he says renowned advocate, which is not, let's say, the appropriate way of speaking English. Then Surat, yes. Now, is a word, friends, which is in language we call as filler. Now, where do we use filler? Where any word do not comes to our mind. Now, these kind of sounds, they are used as fillers. So, when this person says Surat, yes. So, this is used as a filler because he is confused that he is talking about Surat or any other place. He is confused, and after some time in the next sentence he says that yes, he is talking about Surat only. Then he uses the phrase family members. How can he talk about the family members of let's say somewhere where he went? He went to only for one night or one day to his friend's house, so he don't know much about the family members. But just in that one day, he was able to overgeneralize about the behavior of the natives of Surat city. So this is suggesting that this person has not much exposure of traveling, has not much exposure of understanding human behavior. Then family friend. Now this is, I must say, that an exclusive Indian way of speaking. Family friend is a phrase which any European or any American will not understand in the first time. If you say family friend in India, Indians will understand. Indians will know that family friend means some person who is very close to the family. Although he is friend, although he is blood relative, although he is not a blood relative, but he is very close to the family. And then there is another phrase, that is family matter. Now, the matter and family, these are two different words. But in India, we generally see that this word family matter is used again and again into Indian way of speaking. Then we have the phrase that was long time ago. Long time ago, it means the person is confused that he is talking about which time. When did he go to Surat? What was that, let's say, year? He is not sure about it, but he is talking about it in a very confusing state. Then we have another phrase, popular lady with men also and ladies also. Now this is completely offending to some native speaker. How can someone say about a lady that the lady is popular? Now the popular word associated with lady may lead to some negative impression of that lady. But even then this person has used it with a positive note, with a positive spirit. He is trying to say that whether there is any male working in the office or any female working in the office, but Miss Pushpa is, let's say, very popular or very positive. She has a positive impression on the mind of every colleague who is working in the office. Then we have another phrase, just now only I will do it. Now the speaker is trying to say that Miss Pushpa do not delay the work which is assigned to her. Let's say if you go to Miss Pushpa and you need her help, she will immediately help you. She will not ask you to come after 1 hour or 2 hours. So in this way, Miss Pushpa is very cooperative, Miss Pushpa is very helpful. And then we have last but not the least phrase, which is used as addressing Pushpa as Pushpa Miss, which is also inappropriate. Pushpa Miss, either the person say Miss Pushpa or the person must say Pushpa only, the first name, the initial of the name of the lady, Pushpa, can be said. But now this person says Pushpa Miss, so this is a very inappropriate phrase which is used by the speaker. So friends, today we talked about this poem, Goodbye Party, for Miss Pushpa T.S., and we were able to get a deeper insight into the Indian way of speaking English. So with this, I end my lecture and we end Unit 2. We complete the discussion on this poem, Goodbye Party, for Miss Pushpa T.H. That is all for today. Thank you so much.